What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on PTI, they're going to be talking about Kawhi Leonard's contract and how after only 2 years, he's going to opt out. So let's see what they have to say about that.
2 years there, both Kawhi and Paul George are free to go wherever their hearts wander. Stephen, this sort of feels like a rental to me. So does it change your assessment of the chance the Clippers are taking?
Not at all. Not at all. They had to take this chance. First of all, understand what Kawhi Leonard is doing here. By getting a 2-year deal with an out after that, you'll have 10 years in the league, thus making you eligible for the supermax that you're looking for in a couple of years or so. Plus, it puts the Clippers under the gun. Just because you got me and because you have Paul George does not give you a license to take us for granted and don't consistently go about the business of keeping a team around us. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are in the same building, in the same city, the Staples Center. They're going to be competing for championships. Don't leave us hanging. We need all the help that we can get. Don't forget about us.
So I definitely agree. The Clippers were smart to go all out and get Kawhi Leonard. And as far as Kawhi Leonard signing a 2-year contract, I think that's good because what that's going to do is going to keep the Clippers honest about trying to rebuild and bring in the best quality of players they can to help out with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So that 2-year contract, I think, is excellent. Also, having them be able to control their own destiny, because for the longest time, it was up to the teams and where players go, when you can trade them, and, having them locked in for, 5 or 6 years. So I'm happy the players have more control of what's going on now. So let's continue.
Agree with me that the Clippers' position was, if he stays in Toronto, okay, but he can't go to the Lakers. He can't come to this building and wear the purple. Because we're dead at that point.
They would have returned to the dark ages.
So what this thing basically says to me, the 2-year deal is interesting to me in this regard, because I think that the NBA has changed radically and recently. That it is a win-now league. And if you don't win now, you go somewhere else, you reassemble like amoebas. You find the sweet spot to win right now. I don't know that other sports are like that.
Well, all sports, you want to win right now. So that I don't know why you would say that. Any sport you play on any level, you want to win right now. But what's the trend that's going on in the NBA right now is a lot of guys are staying with teams 1 or 2 years. They're not playing the 5 or 6 or 7 year-long contracts. They're pretty much do 1 or 2 years, and then they bounce. So it's kind of taken over the model of how it is in college basketball, how you have a lot of guys that are one and done, like Zion Williamson. They play 1 year at a major institution, and then after that, they're gone. So if you want to win, you better do it now while you have the superstars, just like in college basketball. If you're Duke, you better win the championship now, because Zion Williamson, he's going to be gone next year. Same thing with the NBA. If you want to have these all-stars, you better win now. There's no time to develop. There's no time to really, settle in for, 5, 6, or 7 years. You want to do it, you guys going to have to do it now, because if not, people are going to get traded. People are going to want to leave. There's just a lot of team hopping. So definitely they need to take care of business now. So I don't know. Let's continue.
You're right, but here's the key to recognize as it pertains to the Clippers. You can't return to the dark ages. Your definition of winning may not necessarily mean a championship. It may mean preventing the Lakers from winning a championship. It may be making sure that you're just as relevant in the championship equation as the Los Angeles Lakers, so you could go about the business of battling Tinseltown for the love. Even though Laker Nation is Laker Nation, you still have to be relevant when you got the richest owner, a future Hall of Fame coach, and arguably the greatest executive in the history of the sport as the billionaire owner's right-hand man.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, but I look at this and I go, that something happened recently, within the last 6 or 7 years. LeBron James found the magic door, opened the door. Now he's like the Pied Piper. Players now realize, we don't have to sign forever and ever and ever. We can get out when we want to. We can go play with somebody we want to, because winning a championship in this league actually seems more important to legacy than winning in another league.
Well, again, I don't think any sport that you play, you're going to want to win a championship, and winning a championship definitely boosts up your legacy. So I don't know why you would say that. And as far, again, like I said, if you want to win now in NBA, because they're taking over the college basketball type model, with the guys being one and done. Same thing in NBA. If you want to win a championship now, you better do it within 1 to 2 years of signing your superstar or your superstars, because that team might get broken up. People might want to go their separate ways, or whatever issues might come up. It's not necessarily in the days anymore where guys are signing 6, 7, or 8, 9 year contracts. So you don't have forever to wait to win a championship. And I think this generation of basketball players that are coming out, and maybe, 10, 15 years ago, a lot of guys are used to the model of what's going on in college basketball where you could be one and done. So if you're going to play at Duke, UCLA, USC, you guys are going to have to win now, because if not, all the all-stars are going to be gone and they're going to go to the they're going to go to the NBA, and it's the same thing with the NBA right now. If you want to win a championship or you have all these all-stars on the team, you better do it now, because the team can get broken up, people can leave. Nobody's staying on long-term contracts, which is smart, but I think a lot of players today are used to that model, and it's becoming more of the norm, and it's not as shocking or weird to guys to stay with the team for 1 or 2 years and then just leave. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
Yeah, the elite stars feel that way. Everybody else better watch themselves. They don't have that kind of cash in.
Yeah, no.
And another thing is what that kind of does with the being one and dones or guys signing 1 or 2 year contracts. That's good for them, and it keeps the team from getting complacent. But what it kind of does, it disrupts dynasties, because a lot of times if you have a dynasty, you're gonna have a dynastic run of 4 or 5 or 6 years. So if you have guys only signing 1 or 2 year contracts or 2 year contracts, that's going to kind of mess things up unless guys re-sign, which can be kind of hard to do because you might get offered more money here. There might be other situations that happen, but it kind of messes up the dynastic model when guys used to stay for 5, 6, or 7 years, guaranteed to stay there. So I don't know. It has its pluses and minuses with what's going on in the league today, but it's I can't wait till next season. So let's continue.
I understand that.